Good evening and welcome to my presentation. So as you would have seen, I chose the Australian gum tree as my inspiration for my pattern design. I chose the gum tree as I wanted to align with the values that the textile company had expressed in their brief to start with, and this was mostly pulling on sustainability and longevity. So when I wanted to explore the Australian climatic zones, I firstly created some mood boards. So from there I pulled the different hues that were coming out. So we have vibrant orange, green, reds within the arid Australian climatic zone. And then with tropical, there was lots of turquoise, blue and green coming from the crystal clear waters and the luscious green rainforests. And then coming to the alpine Australian climatic zone, we had misty mountains with browns, grey tones and all the rocky landscapes. So from there I chose my inspiration and then created my colour palette. After this, I took my original pattern designs and I put them into Photoshop along with the colour palette that I had pulled from each of the climatic zones, and then I just started to play around with mixing and matching colours to see what would work best. So I repeated this through each of the patterns. So first it was with the flowering gum, then with the gum bark from the tree, and then the gum leaves. Then I decided on which colour scheme I would prefer out of each of the patterns. So again, this is the arid climatic zone and the flowering gum, the bark and the gum leaves. So from here, I've also pulled the colour palette that would have come from each of these designs, and this is what I ended up with. So I then repeated this same process through each of the climatic zones. So then we moved into the tropical. Again, I have my colour palette up here from the inspiration of my mood boards. And then just again, using Photoshop and playing around with mixing and matching the different colours. So this was with my flowering gum, then with the gum bark, and then with the gum leaves. And then this is what I chose for my final colour scheme for each of my patterns. Again, I have pulled the same hues that have come out of each of the designs. And then I repeated the same steps again with my alpine climatic zone. So again, using Photoshop, I have my colour scheme up here, which is what I was working with. And then just repeated with the patterns. So I've got my flowering gum, my gum bark, and my gum leaves. And then I came to my final colour scheme with the patterns. And again, I've got the colour palette down here that I pulled from what I chose. So that's how I came to find then the native gum leaf. So each of the climatic zones, so we have the arid, the tropical and the alpine. This is what I came to. And then the same with the flowering gum, my three final climatic zones. And then again with the gum bark. And then I finally decided to choose the flowering gum in the alpine colour scheme. So you can see this is the final design here. And then I've just put it in using Photoshop and putting it onto a lampshade, cushions and a couch for upholstery, just so you can see the final design and how it's going to work within a space. So that was my final design, and I really hope you enjoy it, and thanks for the opportunity to be able to create this pattern for you. Thank you.